So Auto Trader know that even though they're pumping out all this stuff about EVs all the time and trying to sell people new ones, government warned EV switch at risk unless it helps ease RV volatility. RV, recreational vehicles, no, residual values. The government has been warned that a failure to support the used battery electric vehicle BEV market will stop the transition to zero emission vehicles in its tracks. As I've said before, in order to have a flourishing new car sales, you have to have the best used sales manager. You have to have the best used car network. You have to get rid of those used vehicles before they just block you up and take all your money. Just stop you from working. Used BEV values have fallen by 50% over the past 2 years and are forecast to fall a further 28% by 2030. In an open letter to the Transport, Environmental Audit and Business Select Committees, the industry is calling for measures that support household and small and medium-sized enterprise access to BEVs, as well as mitigate the volatile residual values RVs denting. So what you're asking them to do, you're asking them to underwrite, you're asking the government to underwrite electric vehicle values. You're asking the taxpayer to subsidise people who want to buy an electric vehicle. You're asking the taxpayer to subsidise the leasing companies' losses because they can't sell EVs and predict the values. They've been selling petrols and diesels for years. They've been leeching off the back of the motor trade for years. And now they're having a tough time. Boo-hoo. You know what? I'm glad. Because you've been a bane in the life of the motor trade for years, driving up discounts, driving down the motor trade profits. You can work from your bedroom. You don't have any cars, you don't have any stock, you've got a computer and a mobile phone, you don't have anything, and now you're crying. Tough shit. Coordinated by trade body, the British Vehicle Rental and Leasing Association, BVRLA, and signed by more than 25 organisations, including fleets, vehicle rental operators, leasing companies and trade bodies. The letter says that while most new vehicles are bought by businesses, the majority of UK consumers only buy on the used market. Now, the funny thing is that these people that are moaning will get a massive discount. They'll probably get 3 times more discount than you get. If you buy one new, these people will get 3 or 4 times more discount than you get. At least 3 or 4. They'll get them at less than cost. They used to get them at NatWest Bank. Used to get 35% off Vauxhalls. The dealers got 10%. NatWest used to make money by putting their used Vauxhall Cavaliers in the auction. They were a bank. They used to make the money out of the bank. Dealers make money out of selling cars. NatWest was making more money out of selling used Vauxhall Cavaliers than the Vauxhall dealers were making. And the Vauxhall dealers were paying probably NatWest and banks like them overdraft charges to stock their vehicles to build the new showrooms. It's just all going wrong. So amongst these leasing companies and trade bodies, the BVRLA, let's just see if we can find the BVRLA. Where is it? Was it that? Oh yeah, here we go. Happy Ever After. We'll just click on that. BVRLA, Auto Trader, NFDA, EVA England. Have a read at this. This will open your eyes. While Auto Trader and the like are recommending that you buy a used EV and you can save money, they're moaning to the government. Here we go. Why are falling used EV values bad? It's a good deal if you want a used EV, but if you want a new one, it's going to cost you more, and in the long run is unsustainable. It can't be that bad. This sounds like an industry problem. Used EV values have plummeted, while petrol and diesel remain stable. These are all industry bodies, the ones who are telling you to get an EV. This is what they really think. Used EV values have plummeted while petrol and diesel remain stable. Boosting demand for used EVs is essential. Still, why is that a problem? Let people buy cheaper and cheaper used EVs. Every used EV starts as a new one. Stable lease rates for new EVs rely on stable residual values. Slumping values mean higher lease rates and fewer new EVs hitting the market. So everyone must be buying used EVs. There are great deals, but demand must match the incoming supply tidal wave, and there is no sign it will. Surely the market will solve this. Forecast shows residual values dropping all the way to 2030 and beyond. There is systemic weakness in demand. Again, systemic. I'm sure that's dragged up from the root. So it's right the way through. It's rotten. Conundrum. Most fleets and consumers lease or finance their EVs. 2. The difference between an EV's purchase price and expected depreciation is the key element of any monthly lease cost. So all those people who are saying, I lease my car, it doesn't affect me. Well, it does. It does, and you're stupid. And if you've got a PCP and it's worth less, you hand it back. If you bought an ICE vehicle, it's worth more. You've got a deposit towards your next ICE vehicle. Keep leaving the comments. 3. Steeper depreciation leads to a higher monthly leasing cost. Really, does it? But yeah, hang on a second. It leads to a steeper monthly leasing cost, but you want bailing out by the government for subsidies on used EVs too. You get the new ones at less than cost, but you still lose money. What's a private going to do? What's a firm going to do that doesn't get the discounts that you get? Let's be honest, you don't give a shit about them. All you care about is yourself. Leeches. 4. EVs are depreciating much faster. A 36-month-old EV retains only 35% of its price, while petrol vehicles retain over 50%. As I say, this is compiled by the big boys, the ones that are trying to get you to buy a used EV when they can't sell them. They're trying to get you to buy a used EV and big them up because they can't sell them, because they've depreciated too much, because they're losing too much money. So they're telling you that they're great so that it'll raise demand for them and they won't lose any money. Don't you think that's a conflict of interest? Auto Trader bought Vanarama and its unique selling point was to lease EVs. 55% of theirs, I think it's 50, I could be wrong, but don't shoot me. I think 55% of their leases are EVs. That was the unique selling point. Auto Trader are telling the dealers what to do and how to sell cars. I could have told them not to do that. In fact, I probably did at the time, but there you go. So, it's a conundrum, isn't it? What do they want? They want it all their own way. Many used car buyers are hesitant about EVs. Over 61% worry about battery longevity, and a third believe negative EV myths. To beat the big bad wolf of misinformation and fear, we need the government's help. Look, this is just an idea. But why don't you stop fucking lying? Why don't you tell the truth? See if you do any better then. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.